Can you short sell any date in the future? How do people know when to? How do people know when the right time is for my short sale? The answer is they fucking don't, bro. Timing is the hard part. Where do I look it up? Where do I know when it's gonna crash? That's the long and short of it. That's why shorting is not advised. You can't just be right in the direction, be right in the time. Otherwise you'll lose a fuck ton of money. But yeah, you can join my Discord. I'll tell you for $15 a month. Yeah, that's a good one. I would recommend never shorting. To be honest, I would never recommend shorting because with shorting, you can lose a theoretical unlimited amount of money. I think it's not a good idea. I think you can be a long only investor if you're going to invest and be fine. What is shorting? I always like using Charizards to explain. Imagine it's 2021. Logan Paul just wore a fucking Charizard around his neck at the boxing fight. Charizard is worth fucking 500K. You've got one, but you know it's not going to be worth that much later. You know that price is going to go down. So what you do is you say, let me borrow your Charizard. I'll give it back to you in 1 year. And they go, okay, you have to pay me a small fee to borrow it. So you do that. You pay a small fee. You borrow it and instantly you sell it. So now you have 500K. Now 1 year later, the price of a Charizard's only fucking 200K. So you go to the store, yoink, you buy it back. And then you're like, all right, I have your Charizard, and you return it and you give it back to them. And you've made 300K profit. That's shorting. Shorting is you borrow it, sell it, and hope it goes down so you can return it later. Here's why your losses can be unlimited. Now imagine you borrow this Charizard, you sell it for 500K, and then a year later it's worth fucking 800K or 900K or $1 million. You don't have it and you have to return it. You have to pay it back. So now you have to go out and buy $1 million Charizard and return it. So your profit is negative 500K. You know what I'm saying? The stock can go up and it can go up any amount. Theoretically it can go up, infinite percent, and you have to buy it back. That is the risk of shorting. It really only makes a profit if by the time you have to return it, the price has gone down. Yeah, but if you know it's going down, what's the issue? The issue is that you say you know. You know what I'm saying? You know. You can never know. And also, you have to be right on timing. Let's say you're like, dude, I am quite certain that fucking Bed Bath & Beyond is a dog shit stock that is going to zero. I'm going to short it. Eventually, you're right, but if you didn't get the timing right, you're fucked. Like, for example, right here. So this is Bed Bath & Beyond stock. Let's say in 2020, you're like, this stock's almost at zero. This is going to fucking zero. This stock sucks. And then you buy a fucking short and then it spikes to the fucking moon. And now you have to cover and you have to buy all the fucking shares and you lose. And eventually this will be right, but it's too late. You've lost all this fucking money. So if I bought and then I got my mate to sue them to crash the price, would I be balling? You short the stock and then you get your mate to sue them. Yeah, I'm sure it's been done. I think what you're talking about is securities fraud, where you have insider knowledge that you're trying to trade against. But you would be balling. But also there's a good chance that people have shorted stocks based on news they thought would affect it that didn't. A lot of news that people think is important doesn't actually move a stock price. And so it's possible your lawsuit doesn't do shit. What happens when you short a stock, but it gets acquired by another company? When a stock gets acquired, they pay a certain amount for all of the shares. So Elon Musk bought every Twitter share for $54.20 a share. So if you shorted it thinking it would go down at 40 bucks and then he buys it all at $54.20, you're fucked. That's the new value of the stock. That's not fair. How could I know? All this stuff, shorting, it's all bets. So they don't expect you to know, bro. That's life. Shit happens and you're not going to know about it. And that's why they're all bets. If you short a stock but it gets delisted, do you not have to give them their Charizards back? Yes, that's what it means. If I short Bed Bath & Beyond and it goes to literal zero off the market, I don't have to give them any money back. So I made the max profit. You know what I'm saying? If I borrowed a 500K Charizard and sold it and made 500K, and then 2 months later, Charizards are free, they're worth zero, then I don't have to give them any money back. I have to give them nothing. And it's the ultimate win. The ultimate happening if you short a company is for it to go to zero. When Hindenburg shorts a stock and then releases a research report showing the company is dog, how is this not market manipulation? Because what they're saying is true. There are some shady short sellers who do that. Hindenburg's one of the more reputable ones. The idea is that they are just giving publicly available information in a good report that people should have known but don't. So there's nothing illegal about that. The problem is if you're one of those short seller companies that do these big reports and they're like, this company sucks, it should go down, and you bet on that. If you're ever wrong, it fucks your reputation. Can you bail out of a short early? Like, let's say I short Charizard for 1 year, but at 6 months, I get cold feet because of rising prices. Yes, you just buy it. You just buy it and return it. Yeah, 100%. If you sold the Charizard at 500K and you have to pay back that Charizard and you see it rising to 600K, 700K, you could just buy it back at 700 and return it and be like, fuck it. Why wouldn't I just make my short last forever then? You have to pay for the privilege of borrowing it. So again, if I'm borrowing your Charizard and I sell it and I'm like, I'll pay you back, I'll give it back to you. If I give it back to you in 6 months, that's different than 1 year, that's different than 2 years, it's different than 10 years. So I'm paying you all these fees. Do you understand? I'm not just gonna loan you my Charizard for 10 years. Is shorting risky? It's incredibly risky, and I would recommend nobody do it, to be honest. You're betting against professionals with an unlimited ability to lose money. It's highly not recommended. And everyone who thinks I'm different, you are very likely to not be different. You're very likely to lose money and then feel bad about it. Is shorting why GameStop has such an impact? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into GameStop. There's more of a meme ape phenomenon than anything else. But the beginning, the part where GameStop like first popped was in part a short squeeze, which is where a bunch of people were shorting it here. And then it started to rise. So they had to buy shares to be able to pay back their shorts, which means it rises for more, which means more shorts have to cover and buy shares, which means it rises more. That's the idea. If a company is very heavily shorted, there's a lot of people that have borrowed shares that have to pay it back. And if the prices start to rise, they go, fuck, and have to buy shares back, which makes it's a cycle. But most of this, like the last half of this spike and then all of this was not short squeezes. It was just dummies. Just people that thought like that was going to happen again and again and again and again and again. And they kept waiting for the even bigger short squeeze to come as Wall Street all unloaded their shorts and eventually re-shorted actually as it fucking got down and made a ton of money. So shorting is preying on a stock's downfall. Yeah, if you want to put it in like, I don't know, more emotional terms, I guess. Yeah, it is. Well, actually, that's really what it is. Has the GameStop phenomenon ever happened before? Dude, it's happened more and bigger. At one point, there was a short squeeze in 2001 or 2 on Volkswagen, and it became briefly the most valuable company in the world. It was sick. It was fucking sick. Volkswagen went from like a fucking regular ass car manufacturer to the most valuable company in the world very briefly because of this massive short squeeze. Really goes to show it's all a fun little game and not real. Begin day trading. Good advice, Quack. It's all just a fun little goofy game. So H-Rock, what if I'm a marketing streamer and I tell my chat this certain tech company sucks and to not buy them so their stock goes down, and then I short them without my chatter's knowledge? Then I'd be an idiot because I only have 4,000 viewers and I cannot influence a mega cap tech company. And so my short would have no effect and I'd likely lose a bunch of money. Now, imagine instead I am a influencer of some sort and I get into a crypto coin. That I can move. That with a few hundred people I can move. And then I could make a lot of money fucking you guys over. But a big mega cap tech stop, there's too much money in that. What do you mean by infinite risk with shorting? Did you not understand when I explained it, or did you not listen? Because I did explain that. I had a Charizard thing. I did like and it goes up. And the reason you can lose infinite amount is because you borrow the Charizard. You sell it immediately. You get a price and you think it's going to go down so you can buy it cheaply and pay it back. The problem is it can go up and there's no limit on how much it can go up. It can always only go down to 0, but it can go up infinite. It can go to 2 million or 10 million and you have to buy it back and give them back. It's not actually infinite though. You're not going to owe 100 trillion. You might. There's no limit. Charizards could go to any amount. They could find out tomorrow that fucking Charizards literally cure cancer and aging and everything if you just fucking rip them up and rub them on your skin. And all of a sudden, the fucking world leaders demand every Charizard and they're the most valuable thing in the world. And then you have to pay it back. You've already borrowed and sold one and you owe one back. And now you have to go and buy one in the open market. It's going to be $100 trillion. So you could make one bad bet and then be in debt for the rest of your life. Yes. I mean, you would go bankrupt. You'd do bankruptcy. But you could lose everything you have off of one bad short. Why doesn't Nintendo just print more Charizards to make more money? Omegalo H-Rock. Now you're thinking like a government. That's what a government does. But the problem is, as you can immediately see, is that when you print more Charizards, the value of the Charizards goes down because there's more, they're less rare, they're less scarce. If they actually printed 100 million Charizards, they're not all worth the same amount. The price goes down. And so when the US government prints dollars to cover its debts, it makes the value of all of our dollars go down. But even if it goes down, it's not like the aftermarket money goes to Nintendo. I think we're taking the Charizard metaphor too far, if I gotta be honest with you. I think we're getting very specific on the Nintendo Charizard relationship. What if they print Blastoises as well?